All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're taking a close look at a really popular model for anyone trying to start a business online, the all-in-one Web Marketing Academy. We're going to deconstruct how these systems promise to take all that digital chaos and turn it into a clear, step-by-step path, especially for those of you starting from ground zero. You know that feeling, right? You're sitting there, staring at your computer, you've got like 20 tabs open, you're excited, but you're also completely terrified about starting your business. The source material we're digging into today just nails that feeling with this quote. It's that exact moment when you see this world of opportunity, but you're just lost in this thick fog of conflicting advice and confusing tech speak. And that feeling, that wall of fog, well, it leads right to the biggest problem that so many new entrepreneurs run into. It's the state of being so totally overwhelmed that you just freeze. People call it paralysis by analysis, and it's where the sheer amount of information actually stops you in your tracks before you even take the first step.
I mean, on one hand, you can taste the freedom, but on the other, you're just getting bombarded by all these gurus shouting completely different strategies at you. You're trying to figure out acronyms that sound like a whole other language, and you're looking at tools that seem like you need a PhD to operate. And the result? You're stuck. You're lost in what our source material calls digital chaos.
Now, the source material uses this fantastic metaphor to explain the problem. It argues that most beginners are making a huge mistake. They're focusing on all the little pretty details, like what filter to use on Instagram, before they've built the actual foundations of their business. It's literally like picking out curtains for a building that doesn't even exist yet.
So, this all leads us to the core argument here. You absolutely need a coherent system, not just a random collection of tactics you've scraped together from the internet. There's a huge difference.
There's this myth that successful online entrepreneurs are just born with some kind of digital talent. But the source material just calls that out for what it is, a myth. The argument is that web marketing isn't some kind of magic, it's a science. It has rules. And if you learn the system, if you learn the strategy, you can absolutely succeed. It's got nothing to do with talent, it's all about the method.
This slide just lays it out so perfectly. You've got two mindsets, right? The amateur, or the dilettante, is always looking for that one magic button, that one trick, and they get totally derailed by technical problems. But the professional in training? They're focused on building the entire machine. They want to know the why and the how, and they follow a structured path. To them, a problem isn't a dead end. It's just another step to figure out.
Okay, so if a system is the answer, what does one of these things actually look like in practice? Let's check out the solution that's proposed here. A structured all-in-one educational academy. We're going to use the Neo Academy as our case study to see how this model really works.
So first, just to give you some context, let's look at the sheer scale here. The Academy in our source has had over 2,500 students enroll. So right off the bat, this isn't just some tiny niche experiment. It's a system that's been put to the test with a pretty significant number of people.
And the curriculum itself is designed to be, massive. We're talking more than 50 hours of content. That's spread out over 350-plus video lessons, all organized into 20 separate step-by-step modules. The goal is pretty clear: to create a complete A to Z learning journey.
And when you peek inside the modules, you can really see the range of topics they cover. It's everything from the really high-level strategic stuff like brand positioning and finding your niche, all the way down to specific technical skills like using WordPress or Shopify. They even cover modern tools like using ChatGPT for your business. The whole point seems to be to create a one-stop shop so you're not constantly hunting for information all over the place.
So what's the big idea holding all of this together? Well, it boils down to one core philosophy: simplification. The thinking is that complexity is the ultimate enemy of taking action. So by taking years of real-world experience, boiling it down into a single focused path, and integrating tools like System.io, the model tries to get rid of all that technical pain that makes so many people just throw in the towel.
So, how does this system actually work? How do you use it to build a business? Well, the source material breaks the whole strategy down into three fundamental pillars. These are the three core components that hold up any successful online venture.
It's a really clear, logical flow, isn't it? Step 1 is attraction. You have to grab the attention of someone who's constantly distracted. Step 2 is education and building a relationship. You turn that initial attention into real trust by giving them value over and over again. And finally, step 3 is conversion. This is where the sale isn't some pushy, awkward thing. It's just the natural, logical next step because of all the trust you've built.
All right, now for the question everyone's thinking. What's the price tag?
Let's break down the value proposition as it's laid out in the source material. And that includes the actual cost and the very specific conditions you have to meet to get in.
The whole argument for paying for a course like this is framed as a big trade-off. You can absolutely go the do-it-yourself route, but that might mean years of frustration, of trial and error, of making really costly mistakes. Or you can invest in a guided system. And you're not just buying information. The source argues you're buying speed. You're buying a map that helps you avoid all the mistakes others have already made. And you're getting a clear plan to stop you from getting overwhelmed and quitting.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The Academy is listed with a value of €997, but it's offered for free. Now that little asterisk is doing some heavy lifting, so let's unpack exactly what it means.
So here's the deal. According to the FAQ in the source, access to this free academy is completely tied to you signing up for and keeping a paid plan for a different software tool, Systemian.io, and you have to sign up through their specific affiliate link. If you cancel that paid plan or even downgrade to their free version, boom, your academy access is cut off. It's basically a symbiotic relationship. The course is the big incentive to get you to subscribe to the tool.
Ultimately, this whole model is really a bet on one single powerful idea, that for someone who's totally lost in that digital fog we talked about at the beginning, the most valuable thing in the world is a clear, step-by-step map. It takes away all the guesswork and gives you a direct path forward. And that leaves us with this final thought. When you're facing a journey that seems impossibly complex and overwhelming, is having the right map the one thing that truly makes it possible?